I want to share this strategy with you. It's called sound box spelling, and it's a really great strategy to use with students who may be struggling in their spelling, right? So I have a couple of different boxes here because I want to teach you the technique, but it's very important that I first let you know that if a student is struggling with spelling, and it's dependent on their grade level, their age, you wouldn't have necessarily all of these different sound boxes like on one particular or sheet, or have them practice with multiple sounds if they're still learning just how to read words that only have maybe two sounds or three sounds in them. Okay, so here's how sound box spelling works. When a child is asked to spell a word, you want them to first really pause and think about how many sounds are in the word without just jumping straight into trying to spell the word. So let's say for our first example, the word is at. Okay, so I would say spell the word at. Before you even dive into spelling it, I want you to think about the sounds in the word. What sounds do you hear in the word at? Let's use this box to help us. So I would point to if I needed to. Sometimes the child can do it on their own. It depends on the child. But I would have them look at this one box, or boxes, excuse me, and think about the sounds in the word at. Maybe they don't know or not able to tell you the first sound. Really stretch the sounds for them. The word is at. What is the first sound that you hear? Ah, ah. What is the next sound that you hear in the word at? At. At. And I would have the child point with me. So if you are a teacher and you're sitting on the opposite side of like a kidney table or desk, or you're like in front of the child, you still want to make sure that they're going left to right, okay, with their boxes. So if I'm in front of the child, then I have to make sure I'm moving left to right so that they understand at goes in the first box, t goes in the second box, right? So I would go through that, and again, what that looks like will depend on the needs of the child, okay? So once I've kind of gone through that with the child, then I will start to put the symbol or the letter to match the sound that they're making. So we've acknowledged the word is at. We're going to spell the word at. The first sound we hear is at. So then we put only that sound in this first box. I'm going to put ah, okay? And then we say the word again, at. I already have the first sound. What sound do I need to spell the word? At. And the child might say, oh, and that's totally fine. It's important that children know the sounds, because sounds is what helps them with reading. But you also, because you're working on spelling, want to make sure they know the name of the letter. So yes, we put a, the sound a here, and this letter name is A, right? Now we know we need a t. What letter makes that sound? T. So I would go through, that's kind of how my conversation might sound, right? And so now we check ourselves, okay? We go back to the beginning, the first box. Let's sound this out and make sure that we have all of our sounds. We're not missing any. At. The word that we're trying to spell is at. Do we have all the sounds? At. Yes, we do. Now, if and granted, I didn't make room for it here, but you want to make sure that your child really understands that when you actually spell words out in the real world, you'd want to put the letters more closer together. So I might, where can I put, I'm just gonna put it right here for right now. But I might have like a blank line for them, and I might say something like, okay, I want you to now write the word on the line without using the boxes. Spell the word at. And then I would have them write it so that they can also be practicing their spacing, right? Okay, so now let's take a look at what would this be if I had 3 sounds. And of course my little paper dropped, so hold on. All right, for a 3 sound word, let's use the word dip. So the same strategies apply. I'm just gonna kind of speed it up a little bit. So the word is dip. We're going to spell the word dip. Say the sounds that you hear in dip. Or actually, I would ask them to say the word dip. Say the word dip, and the child says dip. What sounds do you hear in dip? D, I, p. Okay, let's look at our boxes, and let's use the boxes to help us spell the word dip. Show me again what sounds you hear. I think it's always good to have the child point to the boxes and say the sounds before they actually put the letters in there. And that helps you to see, are they missing any sounds even as they're sounding it out. So, d, I, p. All right, now let's go back and put letters inside of the boxes to match the sounds, okay? So, what was the first sound that you hear in dip? And again, it's okay to have your child continue to say the word that they're needing to spell, and for them to go back to point so they can know which part of the word they're on, what sound they're on. So they start to sound it out, d, I, p, right? And then you want them to check themselves. So, okay, I see that you have some letters here. Go back and check. What word did you just spell? Sound it out. D, I, dip. Dip. The word is dip, right? Okay, let's try a word that has 4 letters. Make sure this is 4. Yeah, it's 4. So the next word is going to be rest. So again, the strategies are the same. Say the word rest. Child repeats the word rest. What sounds do you hear in the word rest? Let's use the boxes to help us. Oh, let me go back and also say, the boxes are also helpful. Like if I'm just introducing this to a child, like I said earlier, I'm not trying to trick them, like give them one with 3 boxes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and have them try to figure it out. I really want this to stick. So I may have a sheet or them working on only letters that have 3 sounds. So they're not gonna have to guess at, well, which one do I use? And then they can progress to words with 4 sounds, words with 5 sounds, moving on, right? So you're not, just not like a I got you, we're trying to trick you situation. So again, that's why I'm just using multiple boxes here to show you the strategy. But if I'm teaching it to a child, I wouldn't start off this way. I would increase to that, right? Depending on what they're ready for. So the word is rest. Say the word rest. What sounds do you hear in rest? Use the boxes. St, st. Okay? So once you can see that they are able to point to and identify the placement of sounds, then you have them go ahead and rest. Put the letters in the boxes. And then of course they check themselves. And let's do one more before we wrap up. This one is scrap. Scrap. So again, really stretching those sounds for the child who needs it. Some children don't need you to really break down scrap. Some do. So strategy is the same. You go through, okay, the word is scrap. What's the word? Scrap. Make sure the child is saying the word correctly. They're saying it correctly. It's very important. And then again, you have them go through the same process. I say the word, child says the word. What sounds are in the word? Let's use the boxes to help us. Child uses their finger, or you can use teddy bear counters, or you can use whatever you want to really make sure that the child is able to move something to identify the sounds. App. Okay, now you have identified the sounds. Let's put letters in each of the boxes. Okay, So then they can go through okay, so I wanted to share this strategy with you because I do sometimes have teachers and parents who reach out to me asking me, like, what do I do if my child is struggling with spelling? What is something that I can do to help them? This is a strategy, okay? This is something that you can use. Soundbox spelling, okay? If you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to shoot me an email so that I can help you, all right?